Hello and welcome to the channel and this video. In front of you, if you have been a member of the channel for a while, you will recognise this layout. So this was a tiny layout I made at the start of the year, which is 19 inches by 21 inches, and it allowed me just to have a small engine like a Hornby Peckett or Ruston, something like that, just to go around, and this was made for a Christmas layout. But I've decided that it's time now to take that away and double it in size. So this new layout is going to be 3 foot by 2 foot. So let's start the build. So the plan for this is to use some of the bits from the old layout and then to have a loop again, but this time to have some points to add a bit more playful and such factor into it. So the first thing I need to do is take up all the track from the old layout, and then I'm going to hopefully reuse the track pins, hopefully the track, the bridge, and then maybe some of the foliage as well. So the first thing I've done is I've marked halfway across the board. So the board is actually 2 foot wide. So all I'm going to do, I'm going to put this flexi track down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin down right. So measure the flexi track and pin down right at the centerpiece. So then I can curve it and hopefully get sort of an even curve on both sides. It won't be 100% smooth, but then it just gives me a little bit of wiggle room to try and create not too tight a curve, as I would like to also be able to run 060 engines as well as like an 040 like a Peckett. So it just gives me a few more options of which I can run on the layout. And when I'm happy with the curved rough shape, I'm going to just put some more pins down and pin it into place. And then if I'm not happy with them, I can just take them out and try and create a smoothish curve. So this layout will be tighter than Radius 1 because I'm limited on space and I want to make it easily movable from the garage into other areas of the house. So I'm just pinning it down. Really good tip for anyone. I got this little hammer from Hobbycraft, and it's a perfect size for knocking in track pins. So just a tip there if you're after something to knock your pins in. And then once I'm happy with I've pinned that in, I will then do the same on the other end of the layout. Exactly the same technique. So with the curves now in some sort of place, I'm going to look at how I'm going to connect them together. So I'd like to have a point on each side, and so I can have a siding or something on each side, and then a little small straight to connect that up. So this is what I have planned on one side. So I'm going to have a point coming off, and then a slight curve, and then another point, and which will lead to 2 sidings. So my thinking is I'll have a siding which will fit in 2 4-wheel coaches. These are the Hornby ones, and with lights. And then also I'll have a small siding next to that which I can park in a loco or potentially wagons. On the other side I've decided I'm just going to have another point but just with one siding, and I'm thinking of maybe just having like a platform maybe potentially, or I might just have it as just a siding with a shed. And then I was thinking maybe instead of having a siding on this side nearest to you for my coaches, I might actually make that an engine house potentially because I've got that spare. But we will see nearer the time. Right, the next job is to get the Dremel out and to start cutting down the track. So I need to put the points into place, and then I need to put the cut the straights down to make connect. Always wear safety glasses when you're using your Dremel. You don't want bits coming up and then catch you in the eye. But I'm going to cut down the track first, the curves, just so the 2 pieces of track meet up nicely, and then I can just put some fish plates on and then connect them up. If you don't own a Dremel, I fully recommend getting one of these. These are brilliant for cutting track and just doing little bits like this. So this was a Lidl and Aldi one. It was under £20, and I've had it a couple of years now, and it looks absolutely brilliant. But it just allows you to cut the track, and then you can make a nice straight cut as well without using a little hacksaw. So now this is done, I've removed the sleeper, just to allow enough room to put the fish plates to connect them. And then what I'll do with the sleeper is I'll slide that underneath once it's connected, and then there won't be a visible gap, so that'll look quite smart hopefully. So now that's in place, I'm just testing that it all runs smoothly. So I've got my Hornby 4-wheel coaches just pushing along, making sure that it's smooth enough. And as you see, they go around the really tight curves fine, and that seems to be okay. So pretty happy with that, and now I've just got the do the other side. So it's going to be the same sort of idea. I'm going to have one point coming off the curve, and then I will cut down just a standard straight to fit in the gap, and then slightly move the curve so it all fits in. So again, Dremel, cut it, make sure all, measure it all up, connect it all up, and then put some tacks into it, and then that will be that. So that's now all in, and then again it's just making sure you test it. So now I've actually got a full loop as such. They just need to sort out the actual sidings themselves, but I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with them yet. But that's all part of the fun of actually making the layout. So I've decided on this side, I've got a Hornby double straight and with a little bit of track added on. And this will be long enough to fit in hopefully a platform. I'm just using these scaled L1s just to rough estimate to fit in a loco and my 2 Hornby coaches. So I could potentially have a station there if I wanted to, or I might just have it as a long siding, but that gives me an option. So you can see it would fit in quite comfortably, and there'd be enough room for us train to then still run around the outside loop. The other siding, I've sort of designed this already roughly in my head. So it's going to have a slight curve coming off it, and then we're going to have 2 sidings. So I'm thinking I can have a siding for a loco, and then I might have an engine house. So I've got this engine house. It's a Hornby scaled one. It's a bit damaged, but I could weather it up and add some foliage to cover that up. And then it add just a bit more interest to the layout, and rather than just having 2 sidings, and it adds a bit more height as well. So that's my plan for now. So again, it's back with the fish plates to Dremel, cutting down the track and fixing it all into place to make sure it all fits in correctly. So now we've got onto the most important bit, making sure the track actually works. So I haven't cleaned this track, so it will be stuttery in places, but I've got the Hornby larger Ruston going around with a couple of wagons, and as you can see it's hauling them along the track okay. Just making sure now that the sidings work. So I'm only testing this with a cheap Hornby controller for now, because I need to put some dropper fees in for proper control, but as you can see it's working fine. So this siding just adds a bit of play value, because I can park a couple of wagons up if I wanted to, or if I can park a loco there for example, and then obviously potentially going to have a station on the other side. So it just gives me a bit more play value, rather than just having one loop with no sidings. But the track seems to be working fine, so I'm really pleased with this so far. And then just to make sure, this is the Hornby Peckett now going round. This hasn't been used for a while, so this layout will be brilliant because I can actually use it quite a lot on this layout. But points, it all seems to be good. I think it just needs a bit of a clean, but really pleased so far with how this is developing as a layout. So that's the end of this video. So this is video 1. So we've got the track working. I will now start to film video 2. So it'll be cleaning the track and then deciding what I want to do with the sidings, and then we'll be looking at adding in scenery and building up some hills, etc. So thanks for watching, and hopefully catch you in the next one.